I'm going to give you another acting clip. I'm going to do my best at this one. This one is a little more difficult, but I'll do my best. I don't know how to explain the Hitler. Yes, you know I am and how I address you at this point. Everyone has their conspiracy theories about the Adolf, the Hitler. We know about the Hitler. We know about the Hitler, what he is. We know what it is. We know what it is. Putin is not the same thing as the Hitler. He is different than the Hitler. You can say what you want about Vladimir Putin, but he is not the Hitler. He doesn't do that. He the You can say Elon Musk is the Hitler. I don't think Elon Musk is the Hitler. I don't believe it. I have been paying attention to the news. I watch the American news as part of my job, what I do for a living. And Donald Trump, I don't believe he is the Hitler. I don't believe he is. I'm going to explain in basic terms what we know about the Hitler. The Hitler is a type of person. The Hitler, if the Hitler was born in Israel, if the Hitler was born in Israel and he was Jewish, and he maybe was Jewish, that's part of what the Hitler was, but this was a secret to the Hitler, something he couldn't live with, and we try to psychoanalyze the Hitler. We know enough about the Hitler when someone like the Hitler gets into power by way of some form of perversion of a system with strange levels of something going on at the same time in the country. The Hitler, I can't fully explain it. The Hitler, he is not a masculine man. The Hitler, the Donald Trump is a masculine man. I don't know about male. I know everything about male values. I know everything about male values of a man who is masculine. Masculine men, they don't, they don't like very much to attack everything smaller than them. Masculine men of all varieties, as I scratch my head to wonder how you do or don't know, the masculine male type doesn't attack people who can't fight back. The masculine competition, if you see the American football, they are giant men who they attack one another in a competition of trying to defeat another gigantic opponent. And they thrive on defeating in a masculine, violent male competition another gigantic opponent. Now, masculine men, they don't try to try to take a smaller thing and have all power to destroy it and genocide it because they are bigger than it as a strange, not nerd. America, of course, thinks a nerd, but this Hitler is smart, I guess. He is a smart person, I guess. Putin is smarter than Hitler for certain and more logical, much more logical than Hitler. But he is a spy, Putin. He was a spy, a successful spy. Now Hitler, I don't think he is good at everything, or we know a lot about him. He likes to do perversion, of demonize people who can't fight back, demonize them with lies generally about them, a perversion, and he does things like that, Hitler, and his methods were bizarrely, as you say, stupid, the Hitler, of not just a normal crazy possessed person, of someone not only what you call the OCD, but the Hitler partially had the OCD and other things like that. The Hitler, the masculine men of all varieties, including the ones who are a brainiac, the brainiac scientists of brainiac people of America, of the science of America and Russia, they they compete in competitions of they will outdo the other one with their brain to beat them at the science. If the school rings a bell, so to speak, the students in the school, they of the honors class, they try their hardest to win at the test, and to win at the test of the school competition, to win the top of the class to get into the smartest school. And then they will compete more in a brainiac masculine competition against one another to win the prize of the most brainiac. And this is not only true of men, not only true of men, it's true of women, but they are different than men how they do it. Women do it differently than men, but we are talking about men and this new American obsession of Hitler. We don't, first of all, we know about the Jews. We don't know about anything about why anyone believes in America that they will defeat the Jews. If people don't know about the Jews, we do know about them. They have the Goldman and the Sachs. They are ancient bank, and both the Goldman man and the Sachs man are the Jew. They are a Jew. And we had the secret now, Salomon Smith Barney, a bigger bank that has secretly snuck inside the city group. And the Salomon is a Jew, and he is older than even Hitler. What is wrong partially in America is the Jews are older, bigger than before the Nazis in America. We have the Metro Goldwyn mayor, that is Metropolitan Goldwyn mayor, MGM, the big one, MGM. The Goldwyn and the mayor, they are a Jew. They are both Jewish, and there are many things of the Jews that we know about the American Jews. Many things about them. I don't know that the Trump he let this Ivanka Trump. She is a little too perfect of a daughter to marry the Kushner. The Kushner is a gigantic real estate billionaire Jew, bigger than the Trump. Bigger, less famous than the Trump, but bigger. And the Ivanka is too perfect to give the perfect Aryan race Hitler daughter to the gigantic Jew, because I know the Kushner, they tape. The Trump wants you to say they tape. Well, we think the Kushner and the Trump, they, they tape each other's phone as a family to make sure they don't cheat. That we think they do it openly, even if a little secret. And we don't think they would give the Aryan princess head of blonde hair Aryan race to a Jew, which we have verified that is still the Kushner. There is a conspiracy theory of they have disappeared the Kushner and done something bizarre that we now hear of a lot. But we think the Kushner is still, we know he is still the Kushner. So we don't believe the Trump, we don't believe it, first of all, that the Trump could be the anti-Jewish Hitler. And this name Elon, that is, we have Googled it, as we call it, and we have learned what we guessed. It is the most Jewish first name that you could ever have besides no other name. So we don't know what goes on or why it is. Maybe the Elon has had the Twitter to and says he is Hitler, implies this. So stupid Nazis will tell him about they hate Jews on his Twitter, where he records, he keeps all of the facts about them to stop them with the police if they get the Jews. That we think could be true as well. We have to tell more. But the Hitler, if you don't know, he doesn't do a masculine competition against males or females who can fight back. He likes to have the fear of a strange, strange, not nerd, beady-eyed, beady-eyed weird person with a strange mustache that looks idiotic, and he wants to be the Führer so much and punish the innocent people because he gets great feelings about it. That he gets to harm the innocent people and control dumb people with lies into doing it for him. And that is what the Hitler, that's what he does, but he doesn't do it the way a crime boss does it either. A crime boss, they might control other criminals who might shoot them or murder them, or other crime bosses they fight with their crime families, they will get back at them and kill their family. And they do that, the crime boss. The Hitler, he likes to get control of planning a strange, you call it herb. You called it, your culture, we study all of it, you have called it a herb. Well, we have never seen more of a herb than Hitler. We know you call it a herb. You call it a herb. That's what you call that type. In the music culture, you call it a herb. Well, we have never seen a stranger worse herb than the Hitler. We had never seen one like that. ever get control of a country ever. And he did what maybe a bad herb would do if he got complete control, where he wanted to do the worst to everyone who could not fight him back. Now, as far as Hitler did it to only the Jews, no, he did it to all disabled of all varieties too, for reasons that the males don't do. The males in all of the male competitions, there's not been males ever who get thrills of harm disabled. The male competition, they don't they don't they don't murder normal males of any variety. They don't murder especially the disabled. They don't do that. Males like the football game. They fight the competition against other males, and the smart brainiac, they fight the science. Smart person fights of competing to win against other big ones, and they will win against them in a competition of male brain defeats other male brain. Not the hero. That's not what he does. He does. He attacks foreign countries, truthfully, not so successfully with the Hitler. He doesn't, in reality, attack well. He didn't do a good job of winning. He attacked Poland. I suppose we in Russia, we don't really believe this. We know we could defeat Hitler. You have books about the Stalingrad, the turning point in the World War II, where the Allies joined Russia and we defeated the Hitler at the Stalingrad, where the Hitler supposedly could take over a much more powerful nation than himself. It appears we think we think a lot of the planning of the World War II was because the Hitler and friends were other psychopaths of antisocial, sociopath strangeness. And if we did it fast to the Hitler would kill all the Jews and disabled and other types that Hitler would kill. We believe that is the truth instead, that if we did it too fast to the Hitler, he already had hostage all of the Jews and disabled, and he would kill them all. And the American Jews also figured this out, and they didn't know what to do, but they knew what to do as best they could. So the Hitler, that is, we know all about all of it. We know all of it. So we know what we know about it, and we are trying to tell you about the Hitler. The Hitler is like that. That's what the Hitler does. No men, the American men, I don't know who does what in the America, why they do it, but if they hurt the disabled, if there things go on where everyone hurts disabled, and that is something men like. Men don't like step on disabled. Men don't like it. Men, the bad, worst law enforcement men, the worst forms of the law enforcement men, all of the worst of them, you call them. The drugs, you hate this type. The drugs of America, you hate the type of the worst men. The worst men who they get the drugs. They will get the drugs if they can. Secretly, we know they don't care that much about the drugs because all the America you use the drugs. The whole country, we know the America does use the drugs, but these men, everyone hates them so much. These men from the drugs, but they all don't hate the drugs the way everyone thinks they do. What they secretly hate the most is you hurt innocent people. But then the worst one the men hate the absolute most is you hurt or harm innocent people who can't fight back. They can't fight back because they are disabled. So you the men hate it not slightly. The men don't just hate that. They don't just hate that. The men they poke around, they do their man business, and they figure out different things that they will do to solve it. And if there is the brainwash, now we know about the brainwash. You say Putin, you do this. Putin, he controls the whole country. Nobody makes any decisions in Russia besides Putin. Well, if you think this, you now think Trump, he makes every decision. Well, we have bad news. Putin also gives other people have a job and written things sometimes that they do, and they do it. They do it, and Putin gave that to them. Putin gave that job description to them, and they do it for Putin. And Putin is happy or unhappy or doesn't know what everyone does, what they do. And people, Putin, you say he knows the whole Russia. He has the Kremlin, they do it, they spy on the whole Russia. Everyone knows other people spy for the Putin, and they spy and they will tell the Putin or not tell him if they feel like it. But the Putin, he knows this. The Putin knows this, and we suggest that Trump knows this too. We suggest he knows it. Other people, they know this. They know it. They are aware of this, that the version everyone tells is stupid, not just stupid. So let's tell more of the hero. Why? What do the men again? The men and the women, or the women? The women they go ahead. They do women's spy espionage for their favorite innocent people who have been harmed by something. The women they do it. They do that. They catch bad guys sometimes. They do it. They do all of it. This disabled, if they catch someone bad, they try that they are not as bad if they have the psychosis, you call it. So they will have an okay place where they are locked up instead. But the men, if they catch everyone successfully hurting disabled, if they catch everyone, if they catch the brainwash, if they catch a brainwash, they are wise to a brainwash. If they fool sometimes, they cannot fool all the time. So I don't know the drugs. If they take the drugs and they believe everything they are told, or sometimes the drugs they believe nothing, and they know better, and they are street smart, and they know things that they believe. We don't know about what will happen, but like I said, there could be a full Jew who rises to power in Israel. Someday there could. It is not the current guy. He doesn't do this. That's not him. He bombs what you say the shit out of people because they attack him, and he knows what he's getting into. That now he has to fight the Iran. He doesn't, I don't know, want to fight the Iran, but they did it. Maybe he gave the job description to the IDF, and the Netanyahu, they found out about the massacre, and they went overboard. They went overboard and they bombed 80,000 Palestinians to death, or nearly half of them, or all 40,000. So the Netanyahu, he might not have been able to stop them because they did it with their job description, and they overreacted. So they did it, and now the Netanyahu, he is not happy. He doesn't want to get in a nuke battle with Iran, or what you say is not a nuke battle, only bombing Iran's uranium field or something like that. Well, that's okay, sort of, but we know something like that is true too. So, like back to Hitler, you say like this, like that, like I like yeah, that's another one for you. That's another one for you. That's another, impromptu or ad lib. It's another impromptu of, the Russian guy. Just the Russian guy. The Russian guy, he knows some English. He's going to speak his best English to convey his ideas about, things that he thinks he knows or doesn't know with them. With the Russian guy, maybe this guy's like a Kremlin or a K, whatever he be. He knows some English, so he's going to pull it off. He's going to announce to the America. He's going to announce to the America the secret Russian version of things, and unveil vast levels of insight that America may not have, or seems not to, or does, or doesn't, or some do and some don't. But the Russian guy with that stuff, I think he might be more accurate about what goes on and why. I don't know. The Russian guy, I would say the Russian guys, they use a huge degree of psychology, the Russian guys, and they like to manipulate us. But I don't know about that Russian guy. That Russian guy might be trying to level with people on some level anyway, even though there's some degree with that Russian guy. Always with Russians, with us, they're not going to give us the whole anything that we really want. They're not giving us Russians anything that we truly want. So that's what that Russian guy is. He's not going to give us anything we really want. We don't want Russia. We don't want the Russian guy that he's gonna help us. We don't typically think it's great if the Kremlin comes out and they help us this way. Yeah, we don't necessarily think that's great if the Kremlin arrives and they're going to help everyone with their transparency. They're going to, again, the Kremlin will help us understand ourselves, or something along those lines. This is that's that one. The Kremlin, this guy, this Kremlin guy, he's going to help us understand ourselves, our own history. But maybe that is a good kind of ad lib, you know, good kind of impromptu to do.